Hi, good morning. Welcome to Immigration Wednesdays. I'm attorney Jeff Peak, and today's update is just going to be a couple new things in immigration that's happening around the country, from new announcements to DHS to other things going on that may affect your immigration process or the immigration process of somebody you know. So, quick 3 bulletin points and we'll get you on your way. First, they recently announced there's not going to be a furlough of USCIS employees. And that's great news. That means 75% of USCIS employees that they had mentioned could be furloughed or basically fired will continue to work in their jobs. That's great for not only those people and their families, but it's great for everybody in the immigration process. So we're not going to have huge backlogs and delays of getting processing times of applications. So good stuff. So that should be an encouragement to any of you guys who maybe have held off, maybe you heard these rumors, maybe you're thinking, oh, I don't know if I want to apply right now because who knows how it's going to affect my delay or the timing of my application. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Continue on, especially if you want to try to take advantage of the new USCIS fees, which take place on October 2nd. You're running out of time, honestly, because we basically only have a month left. So especially if you want to file for citizenship, now's a great time to look into that. Second announcement, if you are somebody who uses a work authorization card, this is usually applied for by filing a form I-765. There's a new form I-765, a new version, an update. And if you may not know this, but if you file with an old version, immigration can reject that new application just because you're not using the correct version of the form. So that new version of the form went into effect on August 25th. So if you are filing after that date, you need to be using that new form, okay? So check it out. If you have an attorney, they should already know this. If you're doing it yourself, you definitely want to be keeping in updates of form changes because they happen frequently and they can affect your processing times. And lastly, just to announce the announcement that the United States, Mexico, and Canada reissued the extension of the travel ban for all non-essential travel in between those countries. What does that basically mean? Well, you can kiss goodbye tourism. If you had a trip planned to Cancun, or you wanted to go up to Toronto, or if you wanted to come to Disney World from one of those outside countries, you're basically not going to be able to do that on a tourist visa up until September 21st. That's when they extended the travel ban of non-essential travelers through September 21st. Good news is it's only about a month away. Bad news is it's one more month where we don't get to enjoy each other's countries for tourism. However, that does not include essential travel. So if you are continuing to be a doctor, a nurse, or somebody involved in the fight against the coronavirus, obviously you are excluded from that. And of course, there's some other proclamations that President Trump issued, one on April 22nd that had to do with the issuance of residency for people who are outside the U.S. You want to make sure you understand that proclamation. You can find that online. Or on the one proclamation of June 22nd. I don't know why he likes the 22nd, but April 22nd, June 22nd, he issued another proclamation eliminating the issuance of the following 3 non-immigrant visas: H-1B and H-2B, Ls, and that's it. So if you were outside the country in those days, those proclamations stay in effect until December. Now, a point you might want to know, essential travel can mean a lot of different things, and there's a chance you could convince a consular officer that your position or your job, even if you didn't have the visa issued, could be a part of an essential job. So it's different for everybody. You have to know the ins and outs of what your company is doing. We had a client the other day who was stuck outside waiting on the issuance of his L visa, and I was talking with the owner of the company, and he said they had just started manufacturing some products that help people restrict the infection of the coronavirus. It was something new that they'd just done in their company. And I said, well, hey, that's good news, because immigration and consulates are willing to consider that if you're coming in to participate in a company that is helping either research something or produce something that's part of the coronavirus fight, you might be able to get an exception and come in. So check with that if you're somebody outside and you have those exceptions, or you're an owner of a company and you're in production of something that it could be masks, it could be these face shields, it could be different plastics that people are using now to protect different reception areas and those kind of things. It could be different hand sanitizers. You never know. There's all sorts of things companies do. Make sure your companies check to see if they're involved in any way in the fight against the spread of the coronavirus. You could be eligible for an exception there. Those are my 3 updates. Again, no furlough of USCIS employees, so let those applications get going. Use the new work permit form, the I-765. And you can always check on what form version it is based on there's an expiration date on it. And lastly, just understand that tourism between Canada, United States, and Mexico is put on a hold until September 21st. That's all we got today. Hope that helps you on today's Immigration Wednesdays. And if not, well, maybe you just got a little informed and educated. Maybe you can help somebody else. And we'll see you next Wednesday with more information. That's all.